Despite President Trump's acquittal and lawmakers saying it's time to move on, both political parties seem to be looking to reignite the Ukraine battle with new investigations. House Democrats say they are considering a subpoena for John Bolton, the former national security advisor, as Speaker Pelosi today again suggested their investigations into President Trump are far from over. Watch.
We will continue to do our oversight to protect and defend the Constitution, which is three co-equal branches of government, each a check and balance on the other. And we have some cases in court now.
Meanwhile, some Senate Republicans are requesting information on Hunter Biden's business activities inside Ukraine. Joining me now, Arizona Republican Senator Martha McSally of the Senate Armed Services Committee. Good to see you, Senator. So talk to me about what you would be looking for with regard to Joe Biden's son, Hunter.
Well, let me first say what the House is doing, they should have possibly done in the first place if they had any concerns in their oversight role. But look, most Americans, when they know what happened with Hunter Biden, ask the question like, wow, my kid couldn't have gotten a job like that without being qualified. So, there are legitimate questions. The media, mainstream media, brought them up in the past that, should be followed through on in some appropriate manner. And so if people are looking into trying to get the facts on that through their appropriate roles, that's fine. What the House is now saying is they're going to bring in John Bolton and others. Again, if they had concerns, they should have done that in the first place instead of rushing to an impeachment by Christmas and taking over and commandeering the Senate floor for several weeks with this unfair, rushed process.
So, Senator, the point that you're making about, just for example, subpoenaing John Bolton, there's no promise that he would give the same deal to the House that he was willing to give upon a subpoena request in the Senate. So they may have to go down the same road to subpoena him and still have to go through the courts. I mean, there's no promise that he's going to give the same deal. So, in looking forward, are we, and I had just asked this of my power panel, are we at a point where in Washington, Senator, that this is the battle that's going to go on? It's not going to be over issues. It's going to be how much more investigation you can do. What does the American people get out of that? What do they get, rather, on either side? Either you looking at Hunter Biden or the House looking at President Trump?
Again, what I prefer that we do is we come together for the things that matter to my constituents and Americans. When I'm back home, they are not talking about this. They are talking about the price of prescription drugs. They're talking about the epidemic of veteran suicide. What are we going to be doing on infrastructure? There's obvious opportunities for us to work on behalf of the American people and provide our oversight roles, but not have this town bogged down in their fights that people are just tired of.
Can you work across the aisle from the people that the president today called horrible?
Well, I do it all the time. I am a veteran. I look for where the Venn diagram overlaps on things like I mentioned already, and I'm going to keep doing it. I lost my dad when I was a kid, and I always look at it like, if this is the last year of my life, what can I do to make a difference for Arizonans? So I'm going to keep pushing hard to see where we can find ways to fix things that are impacting America and my constituents. I promise I'm going to keep it up.
That's a very personal and transparent look at it all. I say that because I know both sides are throwing barbs. And after you pull away from an impeachment battle like this, what should your first focus be? It is an election year. It is complicated. The American people are perched to see if you can get their work done.
I think so, and the president talked about it in many things in his speech, State of the Union speech, but I think one area is the cost of prescription drugs. Whether you're a small business or you're a senior or you're somebody who just turned 26 and you're coming off your parents' insurance, there's concerns about the out-of-pocket cost of health care, but specifically prescription drugs. So can't we find some common ground to address this issue? I think we can moving forward.
All right. Senator McSally of the great state of Arizona, thank you very much for your time today. Good to see you.
Thanks, Harris.